Welcome to Shreveport-Bossier Local Lens, the podcast dedicated to sharing the stories of the people making a difference in the Shreveport-Bossier community. Hosted by Jeremy Sutton, each episode dives deep into inspiring conversations with local leaders, creators, and change makers who bring unique perspectives and positive impact to our area. Hey everybody, welcome to the Shreveport-Bossier Local Lens podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Sutton. I'm here with Elijah Parmelee. He is the owner of Magnolia Roofing and Construction Group here in Bossier City, Louisiana. And we're going to be talking about his business, how he got into roofing, and all those cool things. So Elijah, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Glad you guys could come by, get set up, and we can do this.
Yeah, awesome. So let's just start out with, super simple question. What made you decide to open a roofing company?
Man, so it started a long time ago, man. It's been a slow burn. I started off in the roofing industry as a teenager, and I made $400 a week, and I had a gas card, and I was just running all day, every day, delivering to job sites. And I remember while I was doing that, listening to business podcasts after business podcasts, had no intentions on starting a roofing company, but I had already kind of taken that entrepreneurial journey, or I started it.
Yeah.
And while I was doing this, I would pull up in my old, beat up F-150, throw shingles in the back, and I would see these sales guys pull up in this nice truck. And I was like, okay, I got to see what this is all about. And so one thing led to another. I eventually got into sales. And then, how small companies can kind of change, jump around.
Mm-hmm.
Our whole team ended up going to another company. And so I got a lot of experience in different positions, different scenarios. And I kind of just fell in love with the industry. I love helping homeowners. I love meeting new people. I love seeing the projects come together. And I became pretty passionate about, the industry, the people, and, what we're doing to help them when it comes to, assisting them with their insurance claims or, helping them restore their home after a big storm. And just, started there, and it never stopped. We've been going ever since.
That's awesome. How long have y'all been in business?
So we just hit our 2-year mark.
Awesome.
So we just turned 2 years old, and but I have been in the business for a long time. And then my little brother, he's our operations production, and he's been dragged around for quite some time with me. I remember I used to pay him to run jobs just like I was doing beforehand. Yeah. And then it's really cool because we're like a 2-year-old business, but we have combined years of all of the guys here because we have some very experienced guys that it doesn't feel like a 2-year-old business.
Right. Well, I came in. I know you and I met a couple months ago where I was doing like just some business spotlights, and I didn't even know you at the time. And then I realized like everybody that I know knows you and trusts you.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was like, okay, so this guy is good because, one of the things I kind of pride myself on is not referring to people that I know are good businesses, but that are good businesses that are trustworthy, that are honest, and that I actually have vetted by knowing them a little bit.
Yep.
Because if I send somebody to you, as much as it'll have your name on the roof, it's got my name on it because I'm the one that refers you.
Yep.
So I really want to make sure. And I think what do y'all have like 10 million 5-star reviews on Google now? I mean, so I know you're good. And then all the people that I've talked to since that I met you, they're like, oh yeah, they're great. We love them. They're honest. They work hard. So, congratulations on that.
Appreciate it, man. That's awesome to hear. And I love it, man. We work really hard on managing our reputation. As a contractor, if you mess that up, that's an uphill battle after that.
Right.
It's gonna be real hard to get up that hill.
Yeah.
And even scenarios where, so just to give you an example, we did a job for somebody. It was a small repair, and we wrote on the scope of work that was going to be completed, fix 8 shingles on the right side of house. Man, she called the next day. She just wasn't happy. And so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to go out there. We're going to, meet her face to face. We're going to address the issue. We're going to see what's going on. And we asked her, once we got out there, hey, yeah, this was the scope. Let us know. What are you seeing? What are you thinking? How are you feeling? She's like, you see that shingle all the way at the top, those 2 or 3? I wanted those replaced as well. And she did not, agree to that beforehand, so there's no way we could have done it.
Right.
instead of, and it was a little bit older woman, and the problem wasn't the fact that like we didn't do what we said we were going to do. It was she may have misunderstood or she didn't understand. And instead of just saying, "Nah, you're on your own. I'll send you a bill," we went ahead and just did it.
Yeah.
And we just helped her out. Did we have to? No.
Right.
But we consider that an investment into our reputation, and so we always prioritize people over profit. And so as long as we're prioritizing people over profit, and when scenarios pop up like that, within reason, we take care of it, and we always try to over deliver, and we just consider it an investment into our reputation.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's the best way to do business. Paul Reeser, that used to own all the Sonics, the Reeser Group here in town, I've known him for a long time, and I've interviewed him once or twice, and this is not something original to him, but he said, I try to say yes as much as possible. And I've heard other business podcasts where they talk about that, like, hey, y'all should have, yes, man, we'll fix it.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll take care of it.
Yep.
Like, it's easier. Like, I was thinking about this yesterday, oddly enough, about giving people refunds, because I offer a refund to my clients, and I don't think I've had to give a refund. But I remember doing something else one time. I used to help people write and self-publish books, and somebody's like, "Hey, I don't think this was right," or whatever, and I was like, "Yeah, you're right. I'll refund your money." And my wife was like, "Why didn't you just do?" I was like, "Because it wasn't worth it. If they're not happy, I would rather." Sometimes let's make them happy, and sometimes let's just give them money back, because I would feel better about doing that. And then they're like, well, he didn't meet my requirements, but he did refund my money, and so he still did something for me. I don't know. There's always different ways to look at it, but I love that you said, yeah, we'll go fix those shingles, no big deal. And then she was happy.
And we went out there. We try to be open to what she has to say.
Sure.
We don't go out there just guard up,
right,
and try to shut it off. Be like, you're wrong. We're not going out there to prove that we're right. We're going out there to hear her out.
Absolutely.
And we didn't even say, hey, read the second line here.
Yeah.
We're like, you know what? Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. We'll take care of you.
Yeah.
We got it knocked out that day or the next day.
And what did it really cost you?
Very little.
A few minutes.
Yeah.
and now she loves you.
Yeah, and then she's happy.
Yeah.
So if you think about the long-term effects
Mm-hmm.
on if we went out there with our guard up and we said, no, read your contract, that would have been pretty negative. But since we took care of it the way that we took care of it, we'll probably get a few referrals next year from it. She's probably one of those reviews, and she doesn't have anything bad to say about us. She has nothing but good things.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about the problems you solve for homeowners, because
Okay.
I don't know anything about my roof. I'm a physical therapist.
Okay.
So what kind of problems are you solving for people?
Okay, so we solve lots of problems on a daily basis, and one thing we have to do before we can even solve the problem is like locate it. What even is the problem?
Right.
That's a big thing that we can help out with when we're doing our inspections. So what we'll do is we'll go out there, we'll look at the roof, we'll do a full report, we'll take photos and add those to the report, and we'll point out anything that we find that is not correct and could lead to future issues. And then that's on the proactive side if you want to get ahead of the game. But then we also will take care of issues that are immediate that happen if a tree hits your house or there's a big storm and there's a leak coming through. But where we really can do a lot of damage in a good way is we can help with insurance claims. When it comes to an insurance claim, that can be, it's a lot of moving parts, and it can be very difficult to navigate as a homeowner that may have only done one or maybe two tops in the last 10 plus years. And we can assist the homeowner in meeting the adjuster. We can go over the paperwork with them. And then you got to think about it. When that adjuster comes out, he's been trained on how to write an estimate, but he's not in construction. He's not a roofer.
Right.
Chances are he'll leave 6 or 7 things out. And whenever they give you that estimate, that reflects the amount that they're going to pay for this project, all the way down to how many shingles they are going to allow you to install.
Right.
So it's very easy to make mistakes. And it's not saying that they do it on purpose, but it is saying that you want to have a professional come and you want to put a second set of eyes on it. And we're like the homeowner's advocate. We help the homeowner get a fair evaluation of their roof, And then on top of that, we do the roof the right way. There are many different ways you can cut corners, and we will not do that because, like I said, everything we do has our name on it.
Yeah.
It's directly tied to our reputation.
Yeah.
And so,
what's a way that somebody cuts corners? Like, I have no idea what's a way they can cut corners
so
that ruins my roof later.
One thing that I've seen, roofing companies, some roofing companies, they will tear off just the shingles, and there's multiple layers. There's underlayment underneath the shingles before you get to the decking. And so if you just tear off the shingles, and then let's say that's happened twice, you have 2 different layers of underlayment there. You can't really thoroughly inspect the decking. And so if you're going to put the nail through the shingle into the decking, that's what's holding it together, and you didn't thoroughly inspect it, you just slap something over it, you could be nailing on the rotten decking. So that's one way you can cut corners, or you can, there are ways to buy second run shingles, and I've seen contractors do that on brand new roofs. And there's a bunch of different things in different areas that you can get the cheaper option, or you can not do these certain things to drive down cost if you're, trying to cut corners.
Right.
And, homeowners, they're not looking at roofs all day, every day. They're not involved in the installation process.
Right.
And so that's why it's really important to have someone sit down with you and explain it to you, because there's quite a few ways.
Yeah, well, we had our roof inspected last year.
Okay.
Not by y'all. I didn't know you at the time. And so the guy, of course, I have no idea about roofs. My dad could do everything in the world. I'm a physical therapist, and so he's like, he circled everything on my roof. I'm up there with him. Then the adjuster comes, and what happened was there was water coming in above our stove, and I was like, look, I just don't want to have rotten wood. I don't want mold. I don't necessarily want to replace my roof, but if it needs it, let's do it. And so the roofing guy was like, yeah, you got to have a new roof. And then the adjuster's like, no, this right here's leaking. And that's exactly what it was. And we fixed it. And he was like trying to tell me, he's like, Mr. Sutton, you don't need a new roof. This is why. And I was like, just stop. I was like, I just care, like, why is this leaking, and can we fix it? Like, if it costs $30, I'm happy with that. I don't have to have a roof. And so we ended up fixing it. But, like, they were both showing me different things. And I'm like, guys, I don't care. Like, I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I'll just be calling you and be like, hey, come tell me. But so I'm happy to hear that. Like, I can't imagine, because I know how people are, but, like, nailing into the decking and you don't even know what it looks like.
Yep.
Like, we just left it covered. We left the paper on there. We're just gonna nail and pray that it hits good wood.
Another layer of felt on there, and then slap the shingles on.
Oh gosh.
Yep.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna cause problems.
Yep. And then I looked at a house recently for our local realtor, and it, pulling up, it looks like a brand new black roof. It was like a $600,000-$700,000 house, so it was put together pretty well. And as I'm like doing my 360, getting on the roof and inspecting things, I can see like they didn't replace this flashing here. There is a cap that's still beat up from hail that they just put right back on. And I'm like, okay, I guarantee you they didn't go all the way down to the decking. They just pulled the shingles off, slapped some new shingles on. And I'm talking, this was a very nice house. And then I walked around to the back, and there is a very low pitch that, you have to have low slope roofing on it, not shingles, and they just shingled right on over it. And then kind of just kept doing my investigation, and I walked around to the other side. Not only did they not replace the flashing, they ran out of paint, and I saw where they ran out of paint, and they just left it the other color.
Oh gosh.
And so in every sense of the word, they took off the first layer and slapped something down.
Yeah, and they 100% charged them for a great job.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it's so horrible. I mean, we can see that in every industry, right? Like, I'm a physical therapist. They're like, well, I came in and I did the same thing every time for 12 weeks. And I'm like, oh gosh. I'm like, did you lift weights or progress? No, I didn't do it. I just the therapist sat over there and I did all this. And I'm like, well, they build you like, whatever. So, which a lot of that just comes down to, are you a decent person or not?
Yep.
So, but I'm happy to know that y'all are, and y'all do a good job, because I know that's gut wrenching. I'm like, I'm sure when you told the realtor that and they told the homeowner, they were like,
I feel bad.
It's horrible.
I know. I have to, because we try to be extremely thorough with our inspections, because we, especially in a real estate transaction, we want to let people have a strong idea of what they're getting into.
Mm-hmm.
and that's the lid. That's the lid.
Yeah, that's right.
That protects everything on the inside. And so I have to go back with all this bad news, and I'm like, I just killed this deal.
Sorry.
Here's your report.
Sorry, you're not making any money today.
No, I actually texted them while I was there. I'm like, prepping them because I'm about to tag this one on.
Yeah. There's a guy that I really love. His name's Chris Voss. I don't know if you've heard of him. So he used to be the FBI director or the lead interrogator.
Okay.
And his book is called Never Split the Difference. It's how to like negotiate with people.
I've heard about the book. I haven't read it.
But he talks about all the time, like start off with like horrible, like, hey, I got something really bad to tell you.
Yeah.
And they're like, what is it? And they're thinking like I'm about to die. Oh, well, you have a hangnail. Oh, well, that's not that bad. And so it's probably good to be texting, even though you did have bad news. All right, well, let's move on. So what's the biggest misconception people have about roofs or roofing contractors? I mean,
roofing contractors, cheap is not better.
Yes.
Usually, if you get a really, really good deal and it just seems too good to be true, it probably is. Yeah. Don't look for the most competitive deal. And you don't want to get price gouged.
Sure.
You want it to be competitive. But if it's cheaper, there's usually a reason.
Right.
And so I, in many scenarios, have encouraged people, because as a contractor, you hear somebody say, "I'm getting multiple bids." It's like, oh gosh, I'll tell them off the rip. I'm like, hey, I encourage you to do it. Get 3, get 4 bids. Compare apples to apples. Right. And I'll let you know now I'm not going to be the cheapest. I don't want to be the cheapest.
Right.
Because as a roofing contractor, the reason you pick the guy that isn't the cheapest, does it the right way, carries all the workers' comp, the insurance, the legit business, is because when I do your roof, I take on all the liability.
Yes.
That's my problem. Yeah. So I have to make sure it's done correctly. If you go cheap,
it's your problem.
You take on all the liability.
That's right.
But yeah, so cheap bids, competitive pricing, it's there's something there that's making it done.
And just as another business owner, you don't want to be the cheapest guy in town. Like that. What does that say?
Yep.
I mean, you're the cheapest guy in town for a reason.
Yep.
And everybody knows who's the cheapest. Bob.
Yep. Yep. You want to provide value, and you want to show them that value and show them why you are not going to be the cheapest, and then deliver. And then I've also found that man, the ones that want all the discounts and all the favors, their sphere of influence and their referrals that you could get from that are very similar.
And plus, they're going to want 10 times what the other person is that pays more.
Yep.
That's always the case.
Oh, yeah.
They're always going to give you more trouble.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Every time.
Yeah. I love that. Well, I love that. That's good information. Don't go with the cheapest guy. So what's the difference between a simple roof repair and then needing, you got to have a new roof?
So usually whenever you need a new roof, the granules are, kind of falling, you'll see them in the gutters, the asphalt mat, the fiberglass mat, not the asphalt, the fiberglass mat, it'll start showing, it'll start looking kind of shiny. And, once you start getting to the end of the life expectancy of a roof, it becomes more economical just to replace it versus repair it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, that is something that I can kind of help out with. If you are thinking, hey, it's looking old, I'm seeing the asphalt granules come down, seeing that fiberglass mat showing, that's when I would come out there and I'd give you kind of like a life expectancy. Or you have some sort of catastrophic event like a hailstorm or a fire or something along those lines. That's whenever I can come out and help you with an insurance claim. But if I go out and I don't see a lot of wear and tear on the roof, I don't see a massive amount of damage that warrants filing an insurance claim, and we just have one isolated problem, then I can just give you an estimate to replace that. And then that's another thing you want to do. You want to make sure you do your due diligence on that as well, and you fix it the right way so it doesn't cause more problems in the future.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much how I would look at that and try to decide on if I'm going to go repair or replacement.
Because you can get shingles. You don't have to replace every shingle if 3 are bad, right?
No. Yeah. No. You can take a couple shingles off, and then fix the problem. So if there's a leak, there's a reason that it's leaking. Right. It's probably going to be close to some sort of penetration around the roof, and so it may be cracked. So, you take off the, let's say it's a boot. You take off the boot, then you remove some shingles, and if there's some rotten decking, you replace that rotten decking. Then you put the new boot, the new shingles, and all the fasteners and everything that it needs, and put it back together, and it looks squeaky clean.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, our house we had in Bossier, around the chimney was rotten.
Yep.
And that's what we found. Like, for some reason, whoever did the roof, the shingles weren't right. They didn't put them right. They didn't seal it, and it was rotten, and it moved up. And,
yep.
And so we just had to take all that and do it right, and it was fine.
Yep.
But like I said, it was right there where there was a seal or a boot or something that wasn't done. What mistakes do you see homeowners make most often after a storm or roof damage?
After a storm or roof damage, trying to take on that insurance claim by themselves.
Okay.
Vet the contractor. Make sure that you are comfortable with him. Make sure that, check the reviews, get a list of references. But once you find somebody that you're comfortable with, it should be you and that contractor working together, and don't hold back information.
Right.
Don't call them out there when you have an insurance claim and then ask them for a cash bid and try to navigate those waters yourself, because it gets kind of tricky. I have seen homeowners lose pretty badly by trying to do that and trying to be, keep their cards close and not share it with their contractor.
Right.
That's the man that's putting a whole new lid on your house.
Yeah, right.
So you guys want to be.
You want to trust it.
Yeah, you want to trust them. You guys want to be on the same page. So don't withhold information. Don't try to tackle that by yourself. Get a professional that you trust to help you navigate those waters, and you guys work that whole insurance claim together.
Yeah. So I love that. My next question was, how do people look for a roofing company that they can trust? And I really feel like the whole time you've just pretty much laid that out there.
All you have to do is get in your car, come down to Shed Road and Airline, and look for the Magnolia roofing sign. Come in and say hi to Belinda.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, for my money, for what I've seen with you in the community and what we talked about, I think that's absolutely the smartest thing to do. So let's talk about the last question. What advice would you give a homeowner who wants to protect their roof and extend its lifespan?
Routine maintenance. Go ahead and check that box. If you don't know what to do, call the roofer. He'll definitely let you know what to do to expand your life expectancy of the roof. And routine inspections.
Okay.
Every 6 months to 12 months. Build a relationship with a good roofing contractor in town, and just give them a call, or just after he finishes that one, go ahead and schedule it for the next time. But it's just get up there and see what's going on, because you don't make it a habit to just go home and get on the roof.
No.
That's not something it's not even top of mind until something's going on.
There's water pouring in the ceiling.
But just go ahead, build a relationship with a good roofing contractor in town that you like and you trust, and just every 6 to 12 months have them come out there and take a look at it, and that alone will save you so much money.
Yeah. Is that something that companies do for free, or is that a charge to come do the roof inspection?
Usually it's free.
Uh-huh.
If it's just to come out there and check out the roof, do a free inspection, with a small report and some photos, that should be free.
Right.
The only time I've really seen people charge for inspections is, are they really deep in a real estate transaction, and the appraiser's asking for this, something along those lines, where it has to be really in-depth and detailed, and going, you're hitting a couple boxes that need to be checked. That's the only time. But just a routine roof inspection, that should be free.
Yeah. Because I know when we lived in Bossier City, every time the wind blew, I had 12 roofers show up with a ladder.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, "Can we inspect you?" I'm like, "Heck yeah, man! I'll walk up there. I don't care."
Yeah.
So I love that. Awesome, Elijah. You gave me a lot of stuff that I had no idea about. I think you were very educational, so I appreciate that. How do people contact y'all, find out more about you, and get in touch with you?
Cool deal. So you guys can call us at 318-658-5866. That's our office number. You guys can come visit our office on Shed Road and check us out. We have a website. You can look us up on Facebook. You can look us up on Instagram. Recently, we have tried to start TikTok, so if you check that out, don't give us too much heat. But just Magnolia Roofing and Construction Group LLC.
Perfect. Awesome. And I'll put all that stuff in the show notes so people can look it up. But guys, I'm just telling you, everybody I know is recommending Elijah and his company, and they have a great reputation. So check them out if you need a roof. So, thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely, dude.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to Shreveport Bossier Local Lens. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and share the podcast to help us spread the word about the amazing people in our community.